Okay, so I need to talk about the last 2 months of my reading life because something happened, something shifted, and I don't think I am the same person. I don't think I'm the same person I was before I picked up these books. These books. I read 3 books, three, and every single one of them came for my peace. I mean, they came for my peace in a very different way. We are talking about childhood trauma. We're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about incest, like sex between a brother and a sister. We're talking about fate. We're talking about grief, a full emotional breakdown spread across a couple of 100 pages. But before we get into all of that, hi, welcome back, or welcome if you're joining me here for the very first time. My name is Eunice Chidima Imo, and today we are doing a full reading wrap up. Let's go. The first book, Bridge to Having by Franklin Rivers. So, this is the one I started with, and it set the tone for how emotionally exhausting the next 2 months we're going to be. Franklin Rivers is known for writing Christian fiction that doesn't feel preachy, and this one is no different. The story follows Abra, a girl who was literally abandoned as a newborn under a bridge. And she was found by a pastor, then taken in. She grew up in a small town called Having, and she was loved and cared for by everyone. And then she threw everything away and she chased the wrong person to Hollywood. This book is essentially her long, painful road back to home. What I really appreciated here is that the author, Rivers, she doesn't sugarcoat Abra's choices or make her immediately redeemable. She lets her mess up, she lets consequence be real. And the theme of grace, like genuine, unconditional grace, run through the whole thing without being shoved down my throat. Do you get what I mean? Like it was a book that you can relate to. The book is warm, it's redemptive, right? And honestly, after this one, I should have known my heart was not ready for what came next. I was not ready for the next book. I wasn't ready because this book gave me a happy ending, a beautiful ending. You know, things that we see in our day-to-day Nollywood life, like it always come with a happy ending. It didn't prepare me for the next book. Book two, Some Angels Don't See God by the Ever Obi. Where do I even begin? Where do I begin with this book? So the story centers on Peter, a banker living a stable but quiet life, who discovers a novel written by Chineta, right? For her short form was Netta. They called her fondly Netta in the book. The woman he broke up with years ago, the woman broke his heart. And when the book brings them back together, they have to confront everything they ran away from. That sounds manageable, right? It sounds like a love story, a former lovers reunite. No, no. This book is about trauma, generational, psychological, incestuous trauma. And the writer, Eva Obi, he did not ease in, like he does not ease you in. He's not your friend. He writes with this really haunting, non-linear style where the past and present keep bleeding into each other, which makes total sense for a story about characters who literally cannot escape their their past. Netta's character in particular, I kept having to put the book down. Not because it was bad, but because it was that good, right? Because of her guilt, the way she carried something she didn't even cause. The way she blamed herself, it was uncomfortably me, literally me. You know, the way I saw myself in the book. Let's not get there. We are talking about the book today. And the ending, listen, I won't spoil it, but I will tell you that the very last few pages of this book had me staring at my ceiling for a full 10 minutes, questioning everything. I couldn't sleep. Unfortunately, I was up finishing up the book at say 3:40 a.m. Yes, 3:40 a.m. I had to finish the book, which brings me to what I actually did. Do you know what I did after I finished reading this book? I went on Instagram. I found Eva Obe's page, the author's page, and I tagged him in a story. I said very calmly, very rational, at Eva Obe, I don't like you. I said that. I said that. Because what do you mean you wrote a book this devastating and just put it out in the world for people to read? What do you mean Netta had to go through all of that? And what do you even mean that Auntie Chinima got away with what she did to the twins after ruining the life of an entire family? I needed someone to answer for it. And the man, the audacity. He actually responded. He replied to the story I tagged him to. And like a completely normal person, I started the conversation because I had questions about Netta. I had questions that I could not wait. I just needed him to answer all of those questions. And the conversation had to happen. We got into a conversation. And you know what? He was really patient with me. He listened to me. He listened to all of my rants. He was lovely about it. We had a whole back and forth about Netta, her choices, what she carried, what Obi intended for her, and what I personally thought of her. And it was genuinely one of my favorite conversations I've had about the book. I enjoyed speaking to him about this book, about his work. He told me that a lot of people have also asked him that question. I really liked that about, and I really like that about him, that he was open. And that's the power of African literature. Honestly, the writers are present. They are in communities, they are in book clubs, they are with readers, and the story they tell demand to be discussed, and they know it. They know that the story they tell demands to be discussed, and so they are always, they always attend book clubs. You know, if you invite them to a book club, they attend, go into their DM and discuss. They will listen to you. If you have not read this book and you want to read it, please brace yourself up. You will cry. I've not seen a book that made me shed tears. This one did. Didn't have a happy ending. It didn't. Some angels don't see God actually opened a door for me. I am relatively new to Nigerian literature, other than Chimamanda, Chinua Achebe, you know, all of that we read in school. But these ones, they are new to me. Like, I am intentionally seeking out everything. And I have to say, I don't know why it took me so long. The writing coming out of Nigeria, specifically Nigeria and Africa, is doing something that I feel like a lot of mainstream fiction isn't. Nigerian writers are rooted. It's specific in its culture and its language, and it's setting in a way that makes it feel incredibly real, while also being deeply universally human. The use of Igbo, pidgin, the texture of Lagos, the weight of the Osu caste system in this book, the details aren't just backdrops of the story's meaning, and I am here for all of it. I'm truly here for everything that this book has to teach me. Which leads me to the third one. Imagine reading this. I had to look for this one. Ogadinma by Uzo Amaka. I love the title. I love what she did here. She did Ogadinma or Everything Will Be Alright by not Uzo Amaka, Uka Amaka, Uka Amaka Olisa Kwe. This one is set in 1980s Nigeria, and it follows a 17 years old Ogadinma, a girl who just wants to go to university and build a life for herself. And then in one horrific sequence of events, that dream is snatched from her. She's sent from Kano to Lagos, pressured into marriage with an older man who turns out to be abusive. And the novel tracks her trying to find her footing and her freedom inside a system that is designed to keep her small. What Kamaka does brilliantly is hold two things at once: the heaviness of what Ogadema goes through, the domestic violence, the loss, the way women around her are complicit in her suffering. And yet, there is this warmth, right? There is humor in the language. There is Ejiro, her friend, who is just a caring person and was present throughout Ogadema's life. And Ogadema herself has this stubborn but quiet resilience that you just root for, even when her choices frustrate you. Like she slept with her husband's friend. What do you mean, Ogadema? But I saw myself in Ogadema too. That was why I forgave Ogadema after she did that. The mistakes, the choices that you make that you regret later, but it made you who you are, it made you a better person, it made you stronger. So the writing is crisp, right? The pacing is tight, and it ends on something that feels like earned hope, not false hope, not a tardy resolution, but the sense that this woman, Ogadema, after everything she had gone through, she had claimed something for herself. I read that I read that this book, that it's been called a feminist classic, and honestly, yes, I'm here for it without questions. The book belongs in the same conversation as one of the best African feminist fictions being written right now. I really love this book. I loved it. I was happy for the ending. I was happy about how strong she became at the end of the book. I liked it. I really liked it. So that was my reading life for the past 2 months, January, February. A redemptive faith story, a trauma novel that sent me into a stranger's DM, and a feminist masterpiece set in 1980s Nigeria. If you're sleeping on Africa and Nigerian literature specifically, wake up. There is so much happening over there. Like writers like Eva Obi, Uka Amaka Olisa, and honestly, the whole ecosystem of writers, that ecosystem is rich, it is bold, and it is not pulling, what's the word? It is not pulling any punches. I'm going to leave all three books linked below. If any of you have read Some Angels Don't See God, please come and talk to me in the comment about it. Come and tell me how you felt about Netta, about Jetta, about Adna, about Chidima, about Netta's guilt, her ending, all of it. I need that conversation. Okay, that's it for me. Got this from Roving Heights. I just remembered I got this from Roving Heights. I thought I got it from Jumia, but I got this from Roving Heights, these two, and I got this from Jumia. I wanted to buy this for someone. I realized that this book now costs 35,000 naira. Books are getting expensive. Like if you have enjoyed this, subscribe if you're new. Bye bye. See you in my next one.